Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. A very good morning to all the viewers. I'm Hiral Datia. Joining us on the show is Sharmila Joshi to discuss the movers and shakers in trade today. Sharmila, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Sharmila, let's start with Bombay dying. On the back of the real estate deal, one of the largest in the country, what's your view and how do you see it moving for a Bombay dying from here on from a development perspective, debt repayment, etc.?
Obviously, this news was sort of long time in coming. We were hearing for the longest time that, and you knew that they had this land parcel, and I think there was interest that overseas people, big conglomerates, etc., would be interested. And finally, the deal is inked. So I think two, three big takeaways. Obviously, the price at which it has this deal has been done, and I think the roadmap going ahead. So definitely, I think it's very good news, and I think it puts Bombay Dyeing on the map as more of a real estate play than the textile company that it used to be. So finally, as the deal is done, I think good news for Bombay Dyeing, and not just Bombay Dyeing. I think it has sort of added impetus to a whole host of real estate stocks, and rightly so, because I think it in terms of what's happening in Mumbai and the metros in terms of pricing, etc. Everything needs to be sort of revisited and relooked, etc. So I think good news for the entire sector, not just for Bombay.
Right. So overall, would you advise someone to actually buy the stock at current levels?
Yes, I think so. I think if you're a long-term investor, you can buy it. And I think along with that, I would also obviously recommend to Godrej Properties. Another stock that I like in the space is Prestige Estates. So as I said, I think this is sort of signals sort of a revival for the entire sector.
Right. Moving on, NBCC is another one that is in focus. They've signed a MOU with RINL for monetization of non-core assets, and that is the key why you're seeing this kind of an uptake. The order book is also pretty strong. What's your view?
So, there have been hiccups with NBCC in the past. So, while the valuations look okay and that comfort is there, and I think, coming out of that Amrapali and all those issues of the past, so in that sense, things are looking okay for the stock. But it's just that it tends to be a little volatile. So, that's my only sort of concern if you're a long-term investor. If you're a trader, I think it's a good bet. But if you're a long-term investor, I'd be a little circumspect about buying the stock at current levels.
Okay. Moving on, ITI, interesting one to watch out for because the last 4 sessions have been extremely strong. Today, you're seeing profit booking as well. What would you advise investors to do with ITI?
So, the news was obviously good with that, whatever the unveiling of the laptop, etc. But, what we often see in stocks like this is that, the run-up is so sharp that it really, so I think that if you're a long-term investor, it just sort of makes sense to perhaps just be on the sidelines for a bit and you relook at it. But I think for the moment, given the fact that post the news is the kind of run-up that it has had, there could be a little bit of profit booking on the cards.
Okay, so that's with regards to ITI. Overall, Suven Pharma is another one that I want to discuss with you as well. And that stock has been in focus on the back of the FDI that has been okayed by the cabinet for 9,589 crores. How are you looking at it?
So the announcement is quite bullish, and in terms of valuations, also, the stock looks okay. I think the results were a little soft last quarter, but in terms of revenue growth. But overall, I think that the kind of operational performance that it has shown, and the back of this news and the valuation, the stock seems a reasonable stock in the pharma space. It's probably not on the list of my preferred pharma stocks. But given the news flow and valuations, it seems reasonable.
Right. And what about a Bajaj Healthcare on the back of the excuse me, USD FDA EIR that they've got for the Vadodara plant? Clearly, this is going to be something which will open up a lot of doors for them as well. And overall, if you see from being a pre-approval, there's a possibility that they already have orders in hand. What would you advise investors to do with the Bajaj Healthcare?
So, honestly, in terms of valuations and earnings, there is not much of a takeaway. But perhaps, it's what you pointed out that in terms of the news flow as well as the possibilities. So, what I'm trying to say is that uh, yes, you can go ahead and buy it, but I think you need to keep this at the back of your mind that perhaps the the translation to come into actual numbers and revenues could be some time away. So you need to give it that period. If you buy at this level, you need to have that long term sort of investment target, both time and target in mind.
One, Sharmila, lots happening there, but now, as we know, IndusInd Bank has settled the default dispute with Coffee Day Global. They've withdrawn the insolvency petition as well. What would this mean for a Coffee Day? And plus, from a business perspective, what are the prospects you're seeing? Is it an investment, good investment bet?
I think so. This is one stock that when their promoter actually committed suicide, it sort of shook the market. But since then, what we've seen is, that obviously the stock sort of fell because you heard about the debt issues, etc. But I think that given post that, the kind of moves that the new management has taken, as well as the way they've handled their debt issues, etc. Let me just say that as a sort of a case building thing, that I'm very positive on coffee stocks as a whole. So whether you're talking of consolidated coffee, whether you're talking of Tata Consumers with their Starbucks story, I'm very positive on that as a play, given the Indian story. So it was unfortunate when this incident happened, and we because I think CCD had managed to build that name for itself. So again, I think as I said for the earlier stock, I think perhaps if you buy the stock, you need to keep that in mind that it is still not out of the woods, and they will have to do considerable things before they get there. But now the early signs are there that things could look better for them. So just from that perspective, I think it's a stock that I like.
Right. So we'll watch out for these names pretty closely. Thank you, Sharmila. We're running out of time today slightly, but thank you for your views so far, and clearly lots to discuss from here on. A lot of newsmakers that continue to remain in focus. That's all that we have in this session. Thanks for watching, and lots more lined up on the other side. Please stay tuned to Beacon Prime.